They are sending hundreds of soldiers for a piece of land you could walk across in just a few minutes. Not dozens, not even 100. 316 lives for just 1 kilometer. And the most disturbing part is, it is happening again and again and again. But here's the question nobody is asking loud enough. If this is progress, why does it feel like collapse? At first glance, everything looks like movement. Lines on maps shift. Reports show gains. Updates say advance secured, but war rarely tells the truth on the surface. Because when you zoom in, what looks like progress starts looking like erosion. Every step forward costs something. At first, something invisible. Then, something replaceable. Then, something irreplaceable. Until suddenly, the math stops making sense. This was supposed to be different. A powerful offensive. A fast breakthrough. A decisive push that would change everything. That was the plan. That was the expectation. But the battlefield does not care about plans. And Donetsk has become the kind of place where strategies do not evolve. They disappear. To understand what is happening, you have to understand what was built here. Not just defenses. A system, a layered structure, a network of positions so dense that every movement is predicted and punished. Cities turned into strongholds. Roads turned into funnels. Buildings turned into traps. Every direction watched. Every approach calculated. Every mistake already anticipated. It is not a line of defense anymore. It is a machine designed to absorb momentum and crush it slowly. But defenses are only half the story, because war itself has changed completely. There was a time when battles were about visibility. Now, they are about invisibility. Because above the battlefield, something is always watching. Drones, small, silent, relentless. They do not sleep. They do not hesitate. They do not forget. And the moment anything moves, the response begins. A step, a vehicle, a signal. Seconds later, impact. No warning. No second chance. Just consequence. But drones are not the only factor. There is something deeper, something slower, something more dangerous. Attrition.
Faster
because
than
at
they
this
can be
rate,
replaced.
Soldiers are not just being lost. They are being lost faster than they can be replaced. Think about that. An army that keeps moving forward while quietly shrinking behind the front line. That is not momentum. That is pressure accumulation. And pressure always demands release. On paper, everything looks manageable. Numbers, reports, estimates.
Heat
but
extraction.
none of those show what actually happens on the ground. Units breaking under rotation pressure. Replacements arriving underprepared. Coordination slowly degrading under stress. Individually, small problems. Together, a pattern. A warning. A system beginning to strain. And yet, it continues. Why? Because Donetsk is not just geography. It is symbolism. It is narrative. It is political weight. Stopping here is not just a tactical decision. It is an admission. And that is something no one wants to say out loud. So the cycle continues. Push forward. Take losses. Push again. But no system absorbs pressure forever. Even in silence, cracks begin to form. They do not look dramatic at first. No explosions. No headlines. Just small signs. A delay in coordination. A slower regrouping. A supply line arriving late. A unit taking longer to stabilize. Individually, meaningless. Together, they form a pattern that cannot be ignored. Back home, the story is very different. Progress is steady, momentum is intact, control is maintained. But war does not live in reports. It lives in reality, and reality does not lie. Because every kilometer gained has a cost attached to it, and sometimes that cost grows faster than the gain. At a certain stage in any long conflict, the question stops being about territory. It becomes about endurance, because territory can be gained, but endurance can be exhausted. And when that happens, even victories start to feel expensive. Donetsk was supposed to be a turning point, a moment of strength, a sign of dominance. Instead, it is becoming something else. A test of strategy, of limits, of how much can be lost before something finally changes. Because in the end, war is not about how far you move forward. It is about how long you can keep going. And right now, that question is becoming harder to ignore because eventually, every strategy meets the same question. Not can you win, but at what cost can you continue? And in Donetsk, that answer is getting closer. But there is something even more dangerous than what is happening on the battlefield right now. It is what is not happening. No sudden collapse, no dramatic turning point, no clear moment where everything breaks, just continuation. And that is what makes it worse, because slow pressure does not feel urgent. It does not trigger alarms. It does not force immediate change. It simply continues until it becomes irreversible. Somewhere behind the front line, decisions are still being made the same way. More units sent, more ground targeted, more objectives assigned. Because from a distance, the logic still holds. Advance equals success. Movement equals control. Territory equals progress. But distance hides something critical. It hides fatigue. Not just physical fatigue, system fatigue. The kind that builds quietly. And in the end, wars are not lost when fighting stops. They are lost when the system can no longer sustain the fighting. And right now, that question is no longer theoretical. It is approaching slowly, silently, inevitably, and when it finally arrives, it will not ask who moved further. It will ask something much harder, who still has the strength to keep going.
And in the end, war does not teach how to win. It teaches